Hey everyone, it is back to school time, and that means that fall is just around the corner. Now, where I live, fall is definitely a state of mind and not an actual state of being because temperatures still hover in the 90s or higher and humidity just creeps up. But I do like to switch up my makeup a little bit to reflect the change in season. So keep on watching. I'm going to put all this together for you. And the heroes of today's demonstration is a foundation that the whole internet is raving about, and I'm going to show you how it works for dry skin, and an eyeshadow palette that is a very wearable, everyday kind of palette with some very different colors. Keep on watching and watch all the way to the end because I'm going to give you not one but two outfits of the day. Everything that I am using today and all of the outfit details are all available at Nordstrom, and Nordstrom has sponsored this video. So keep on watching to get all the details of the makeup and the clothes. All right, let's get into the demonstration part of this video. I have all my skincare on, and normally I don't talk much about skincare, but it does factor into the foundation application, so let's talk about that. So the foundation that I'm using today is one that has been raved about. There's a new concealer that came out to go with it, and I haven't tried the concealer yet. I thought I'd introduce one thing at a time, and it's the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. This is going crazy all over YouTube, along with the new concealer that they just launched. And I'll put the link to the concealer down below if you want to look into it. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say yes or no to it, but it's recommended for all skin types, but it does dry down more matte, and I'd say it is a little more drying. I do have dry skin, so I wanted to make sure my skin is prepped to handle something that's made for long wear and can be a little bit more drying. So for that, I switch up the daily moisturizer a little bit. I've been playing with three. I'll walk you through them. The newest one to me is this one from Elemis. It's their Pro Collagen, what is it called? Marine Cream. And it's very moisturizing. It's a little more lightweight, and I want something with a big punch to it. This is good for an everyday moisturizer, not necessarily what I'm looking for today. Another favorite, and I did get this in a set from the Nordstrom anniversary sale, and I believe that set is still available. I'll link that in the description box. It's the Sisley Paris Black Rose Skin Infusion Cream. It's very moisturizing. It also smells divine, and this gives you a lot in here. Not that you can really tell from that angle, and that could have worked, but I wanted just the most moisturizing moisturizer I have, and for that, I think this came from a set I got a long time ago. It's from La Mer, and it's the Moisturizing Soft Cream, and this one is geared specifically for drier skin. There's also their standard moisturizer that has rave reviews. That's more normal combination. This is formulated specifically for dry skin. So this is what I use. This is a deluxe size. It's not a sample. It's more like a travel size of it. It's very rich. It's very moisturizing, but it's not greasy and heavy. And then on top of that, I am trying a newer to me primer. When I say trying, I have trialed this foundation on its own with different moisturizers, with different primers, and this is the combination that's working the best for me. And so this is from Laura Mercier, and it's her Pure Canvas Power Primer, and it's supercharged essence. It's silicone free. My skin does not love silicone. I found out the hard way. And this is what I'm using to moisturize on top of all the skincare. So it's in a dropper form. It says to use a dime size amount. It's about that much. And I'm concentrating it where I get the driest, especially for me, weirdly, around the chin and mouth, and I get dry patches on my forehead. Now, this next product I use every single day, and I've featured it a lot in a lot of different demonstrations, but I want to walk you through it one more time. This is the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift. It is an under eye corrector. It is not a concealer. It is meant to brighten and counteract the look of puffiness and dark circles. So the way this goes on specifically to this product is before your foundation. So they technically tell you to draw basically a triangle of light, they like to say. I usually just smear it under each eye, concentrating it mostly in the inner corner where I have the most darkness. And it does come in different shades. And then you can pat it in with a finger. You can, as I'm doing, pat it in with a brush. And this is one of those products that actually, if you just want to have a no makeup day, you can just wear this just to counteract the darkness under your eyes, a little bit of powder, and you're good to go. If you don't have redness or whatever. But even with my redness and uneven skin tone, it blends right in. It just makes my under eye areas look better than they really do. Okay, let's talk about this foundation because we're talking about transitioning to fall and fall makeup. And you would think that it is counterintuitive to reach for something that's more matte and more long wear as we're getting into the cooler months. Well, fall is a state of mind here in the state of Texas. Here, fall just means it's another day on the calendar. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's any cooler. In fact, sometimes the temperatures get even hotter and it seems like we want it to be fall, so I find myself outside more and it's not any cooler, so I'm just sweating more. So actually this time of year, mid to late August into September, even into early October, I do need foundation that's going to hold up to the heat, to the humidity, to the sweat. And all the reviews say that this is the one, and I can attest to it. I actually picked this up before I went to Mississippi, so I tried it out in the hottest Mississippi humidity and heat, and it held up really well. Never got cakey. So anyway, here we go. I wear it in the shade 100. It is an absolute perfect match to my untanned skin. If I do fake tan on the body, I'll show you my trick to bronzing it up. But I just did 2 pumps. What I like about this foundation is it's very buildable without getting cakey and thick, so you can manipulate the coverage. I prefer a more medium coverage, so I'll start with this and then I'll start layering it on. If you want a sheerer finish, obviously use less, but you can also use a beauty sponge to make it sheer out a little more. So I'm gonna start with the beauty sponge and then we'll see where it goes from there. I just wanna show you how it works. So even with the sponge, it gives really good coverage. And can you see how that perfect match? It just blends right into my skin. It is seamless. So what I generally have decided I like to do is do 1 layer and then just concentrate it more in the areas where I feel I need a little more coverage. And for everyone, that's gonna be different. It just depends where your blemish is, any hyperpigmentation or whatever's going on your face. For some people, that's the center. For other people, like on me, it's really my cheeks. And for that, I prefer to use a brush and dab it on exactly where I need it and go from there. Make sure you get into the corners around your nose. A lot of times people forget to blend right there and it'll cake up any foundation. It'll cake up in the corners if you don't blend it out. I have lines from my nose to my mouth and down here, so I stretch my face around to make sure I get it out of those crevices, but it really isn't gathering in my lines, which is another reason why I enjoy this for my almost 50-year-old skin. All right, I've already done my concealer. I really just added a little more under my eyes. I didn't really need anything on my face. I've set my under eyes. We'll get to that powder in a moment. Now this I'm showing you is currently sold out at Nordstrom. It was limited edition. I talked about this in a previous Nordstrom beauty video, so I thought it was only appropriate to bring it out. And it is something I've been continually using, but I just don't always talk about limited edition products. But this is the NARS bronzing cream. I want to show this to you because I know a lot of you pick this up and I want to show you how I use it. So you can use a beauty sponge, or I like a more dense brush, and I just dip my brush in, get it on the brush, and then I dab it in the cap. I don't know if that really makes a difference. And then I just start putting it where I would put bronzer / contour. Now this is great if you got a color that's maybe your perfect winter shade in the foundation, but not so much if you have been fake tanning. So you can be a lot more heavy-handed and get this all over your face and really warm up your whole face to match your neck. I'm not going to do that because most of my neck is worn off. I'm also going to use it to lightly contour the jaw and the sides of my nose. And then with that same dense brush, you can just start blending it in. The reason I like reaching for a cream bronzer, I'm also going to use a cream blush today, is because, like I said, this is a more long wear. It is a long wear foundation, which means it can be drying. And even though I personally haven't experienced any cakiness with it, I think it's because I've been specific with the products I place on top of it. And before I set my whole face, I want to do my blush. This is new to me. It's the Laura Mercier cream blush, and I have it in the shade Oleander. It's a really soft more rosy plummy shade, and these are the shades I tend to gravitate towards as we move into the fall. Stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to share with you some of my favorite lipstick and blush colors for fall, especially if where you live is actually feeling like fall. I'm just going to wipe my brush off and I'm going to use that same brush. You can use a finger. I'm just going to poke that in, tap it off the back of my hand. I'd rather have too little than too much, and then just start gently dabbing it. This is a very subtle color. You could probably get a little more payoff if you use your fingers. It's a really subtle wash of color. I could have loaded up more, especially if I used my fingers. Watch what happens when I just swatch. So there it is swatched. It's much brighter on the finger and when swatched on the hand. But I wanted a little subtle, and I might end up setting it with some powder blush as well, so I don't need too much. So let's talk about setting. I'm going to use the same powder that I used under my eyes, and you've heard me talk about this before, also in a previous Nordstrom Beauty video. It's the By Terry Hyaluronic Loose Setting Powder. I use this every single day to set under my eyes. I tend to not use this in the summer because it does have hyaluronic acid in it, so it's a more moisturizing powder. That doesn't mean it's going to make me shiny necessarily. But in the summer, I tend to stay away from the super moisturizing products. However, in this case, since we're using a long wear foundation, I feel like it kind of evens out. So I am going to set my whole face with it. A little goes a long way. You really only need what is in the cap. I'm especially concentrating it in the areas where I have put the cream products so they don't move. Although, honestly, I've never had them move before. This is a new loose setting powder from Laura Mercier. It's called the Light Catcher. So it does have, I have a couple of shades. This is the one, Honey Star, is a little dark for me. See how it kind of reflects? So that's obviously if you have deeper skin, which I do not. So I am using Celestial Light, which is much better for my skin tone. There it is caked up on my finger. And as you can see, it pretty much blends into the skin. There is a little bit of a sheen. It's a little more subtle. So you can use this two ways. You can use this all over your face for a slight glow with a fluffy brush, or you can use a more concentrated brush and put it directly to the places where you want to put highlighter. So because, like I said, it is fall, but it's not fall temperatures, I want a little bit less of a highlight because Mother Nature supplies her own highlight, and that's called sweat. So I'm going to see how it gleams. I'm going to blend that in, but I'm going to put it where I would normally just put normal highlighter. I'm going to take a little bit on the end of my nose. And at the very, very end of this, I'm going to set my whole face again with this to give a really pretty subtle glow. And I think to set my blush and just give a little bit more to it, I'm going to go with one of my favorite fall powder blushes from Hourglass, and this is Mood Exposure. Again, it has that plummy color to it, more muted tones, and just pop it where I had the original blush. Okay, I'm gonna do my eyebrows off camera, and when I come back, we are gonna talk about the star of the show, this gem. So it's been a really long time since I've picked up a NARS eyeshadow palette, but I saw this and it's so different from what I have. The colors are very different, but still so very wearable. And I will just show you the palette first. These colors are so beautiful. I've worn every single one of them except that shiny blue one you're seeing. Let me show you the swatches. Okay, this is the best I can do to get the camera to focus on them. But as I put these colors on my eye, I'll hold them up closer to the camera on my finger. They are so beautiful, but especially I'm in love with this shimmer shade, the olive shimmer shade, and then this color here. I just love them all. They're so wearable. Let's get to a very easy, wearable, and a little different fall eye. Now this isn't glam. This is what I would wear every day and have been wearing. So the first shade I'm going to do this in the crease. Let me zoom you in so you can see what I'm up to. Okay, diving into that first kind of matte beige color, just with a fluffy brush. I'm going to tip my head back and put this all over the socket line. I did prime my eye with the NARS eyeshadow primer. Look how easily that blends. And I am making sure I get this all the way into that inner corner. For continuity, I'm taking a smaller pencil brush, same color, and just running that all the way underneath my eye. Then with my favorite eyeshadow brush, my finger, specifically my ring finger, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here and smear that on the inner part and middle part of my lid. Here it is swatched. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. And if you just want an easy, soft eye, this is a great color to just sweep all over the lid and call it a day. The camera isn't doing it justice. It's really shimmery and pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit more in person, and I'm gonna pull that all the way across the middle. It's almost metallic. It really shines so much in person. Now I have hooded eyes, so when I open my eyes, it is hard to actually see all that pretty shimmer. So what I'm doing is taking a flat brush and I'm putting it on the tip, and with my eyes open, looking directly into a mirror, I'm going to draw it so I can see some of that lid shade and then blend it a little bit. Now wipe your finger off, and this time we're gonna dip into that green shade. Look at how pretty that is. And I'm going to place it, I'm not gonna drag it, I'm gonna pop it into that outer third, and we'll blend it out with a brush. Do not worry. You could also wear this all over the lid if you wanted to, but this is the more wearable look I've been playing with, as green is not a shade I tend to reach for in my everyday makeup. I don't know if I've ever put on green eyeshadow, honestly. I'm gonna take a smaller fluffy brush in with that muted olive, the matte olive. Let me find a clean finger. It looks like that. A matte shadow to swatch that pretty. That is rare. Okay, so I'm gonna take this a similar type brush to the one I just used, a fluffy brush. And I'm gonna use that to blend out the outer corner. I'm gonna start literally in the corner and then just bring it up and then into the socket line. And you can build that up to however much of that green you wanna see. It actually comes out more to a greenish brown. I'm gonna go back in with the original lighter shade and just touch up the eye so you don't lose it with the green. Take a pencil brush, add some of that olive green to the outer corner on the lower lash line. And then with a clean, fluffy brush, just go over those edges, make sure they're all blended. That's the eyes. I'm just gonna put on some mascara and we'll talk lips. I picked this up as part of a set in the Nordstrom anniversary sale. It's one of the Stila liquid lipsticks, and this is in the shade Patina. It's a pretty rosy, deeper rosy mauve pink. I'm terrible at describing it. It's a little deeper than I like, but it's perfect for right now. Definitely more of a fall color. It dries down almost immediately. Now I have worn this all day with nothing on top and it holds up really nicely, but just to soften this up a little bit, this will affect the wear time when you start adding gloss on top of a liquid lipstick. This is a favorite of mine already. It's great for fall because of the color. It's the Laura Mercier lip gloss in the shade Rose Gold, and this will tone down the deepness of the liquid lipstick. I find that most liquid lipsticks are pretty deep in tone. They haven't really nailed the soft nudie pink shade. If anybody knows of one, please let me know. Before I pan out and show you my outfit of the day, I do want to walk you through a couple more of my favorite fall shades in lipsticks and blushes. First, for blushes, like I said, the Hourglass Ambient Blush in Mood Exposure is that beautiful plummy tone. Similar to that is NARS Sin. I've had mine forever. I mean, this case is so beat up, but again, it's such a beautiful soft shimmer. I'd say a satin, definitely a staple of mine. And then another one that's great because it has the primer already in it is the Buxom Wanderlust blush in Dolly. You see a theme going here. And then as far as lipstick goes, my all-time favorite, I think, goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, the Clinique Lip Color Pop, or Pop Lip Color in the shade Plum. I'll swatch that for you. It's plum, but it's not as deep like this. It's a much more everyday wearable plum. Also, this is limited edition packaging, but the color still exists. It's from Lancome. It's called something in French. Peut être, I don't know. But very similar to the Clinique one, but it's a little more sheer. Very shiny. And then if you want something even more sheer, the Dior Lip Addict Balm in Rosewood, which again, I've worn and talked about in a previous Nordstrom Beauty video. Now this one is very sheer. It just really enhances your lips. What I like to do, obviously you can wear it alone. I like to pair it with the matching Lip Addict lip gloss. It's the plumping lip gloss. It actually has a little more pigment to it than the balm. And it's right there. It looks a lot brighter on its own. Let me layer it. This really works with the tone of your lips, obviously, because it's so sheer. When worn on the lips, as you can see right there, it's a little more of a plum shade, but it's much more sheer if that's something that you are looking for. All right, let me get my hair done, and then I want to show you my outfit of the day. And actually, I have 2 tops to choose from. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below which version of the outfit you like better. I was in Nordstrom picking up some makeup for this video, and I saw both of these tops and I couldn't make up my mind, so I bought them both. And this first one is actually a hoodie that you're gonna see in a moment, and then I also have a button down in the same color family. I think I have a theme going here between the eyes and the shirt. All right, I will be right back. So the first outfit is featuring this top from Caslon. I love the more muted fall tones. Obviously green and muted greens are playing a big role in today's video, and it carries over into the outfit pieces that I've chosen. So this is very much a sweatshirt, but it's kind of an elevated sweatshirt with the details. I love that it's actually technically a hoodie. And I just did a little front tuck in my frame jeans. These are jeans that I picked up from the anniversary sale. These are straight leg, high-waisted, and cropped with a raw hem. And then I paired it to make it really casual with these Tory Burch sneakers that I also picked up in the anniversary sale, but they are still available, unfortunately at full price, but still very cute, and they come in black and white as well. I wanted to show you how to elevate this outfit just a little bit and show you a piece that is back at Nordstrom. I picked up this knit blazer last year, but it is one of my favorites and I'm so happy to see it back. If you just pair it with the hoodie, so I just threw on the blazer and made sure to untuck the hood, so it's kind of a casual, cool look. And then I swapped out the shoes, carrying on that monochromatic look with some slip-on pointed toe loafers. Perfect colors for fall. This works great in a true fall temperature situation, but here in South Texas, this works really well without the blazer, and the open back shoes keep everything cool. Let me show you the second top that I bought that works with everything that I have on already. So this second shirt first caught my eye when I walked into my Nordstrom. It's also from Caslon. Normally I size down to an extra small in almost all things Caslon, but I wanted a slightly looser fit so I could maybe layer this over a black tank and have it loose enough to have extra material to tie it like this if I wanted to. And then if the weather ever gets cooler, it still works with this same blazer. And of course, if you're in a more formal work environment, you don't have to tie it. You can just finish buttoning it, tuck it in, and maybe pair it with a pair of black pants or maybe some wide leg khaki pants. I picked up a pair in the sale that just arrived. I haven't even tried them on yet. And you have a work look as well. So those are some of my tips and tricks from transitioning your makeup from summer to fall. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what things you do to change up your makeup, or maybe you don't change it according to this season. Either way, I love hearing from you, so please do comment below. I read every single comment and I try to answer every single question. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Nordstrom for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.